Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. I'm Fresmal, and today we're back into the original UnderMine, shall we say. So yeah, I kind of want to play a bit more of this. I mean, having some good fun overall, and I kind of just wanted to take advantage of that, you know? Increase bomb damage. You do want to get this at some point, but we got to go over here, we got to get all the good stuff, and then we'll crate a new item, hopefully. The gecko's foot. Pick that up. And we'll probably buy a key and a bomb to go in. No. Why bomb? Who knows? Who knows? I probably should have bought some of these. For increased range damage. There we go. But yeah. I was saying before, let's say, no. I don't have enough to do any of those. Okay. So I was saying before about the whole gold stuff, and you can kind of see, like, I had to spend a lot of gold even on the upstairs part of the game to try and get certain mechanics to even function, which is kind of cool, right? It's something that I feel like is taken away from the new one at the moment, which is this idea that stuff is locked until you can get to a certain point. And it's kind of nice in a way that that happens, if that kind of makes sense, right? Like, particular mechanics just don't happen until, you know... Oh, I don't have a bomb. I should have bought a bomb. But they don't happen until you can get to that point, right? And, like, I physically aren't able to... Can't even open that. It's hilarious. I literally need a bomb to do that. But no, there are bad stuff about it as well, right? I'm not saying there's always good things or bad things, and it's kind of nice to have the ability to almost kind of gate some of the progression a little bit, right? The reason I say that's kind of a good thing rather than a bad thing, gating the progression, is the fact that the sort of impact. Ooh, we get ricochet again. Well, I guess we're going to go throw build, so any deck stuff and things like that are going to be really good. I have peeped 10 skeletons with this. I do not have any of the achievements on this. Admittedly, I will admit I probably played. I think I played when I was playing this before. I played it on. Was I playing it on my Xbox Live Xbox account? I think so, not my Steam account, so... Ooh, I got burnt. That was not good. Just wait for the fire to go, pick up that food, that's delightful. I guess I'll just leave. I was going to go get more food, but like spikes, usual stuff, yada yada. But yeah. So, like, the change in mechanics, I'm leaning on the idea of, like, whether stuff is good or bad. You know? Like, why remove the ability for me to be able to do the gold thing? Right? Essentially, what's the impact? What's the benefit? Do I get, like, better resources out of that because of that? Do I not? Damage for that. That's fine, I guess. Ooh, what have we got here? A shield that blocks projectiles most of the time. Floating skull. Well, pick it up. I can see some of the inspiration for some of the items, though. Like, this one actually exists. The other one just has a different icon and has different mechanics, like the skull collecting and stuff. It's actually a pretty cool thing. I like that. Ooh, I thought that was actually oil on the floor. Didn't think it was actually a... didn't think it was actually a hole. But yeah, like, but those sort of mechanics are kind of like but like when you're changing stuff and when you're adding stuff, like, there are good things and always bad things. So like the skull mechanics and like being able to kind of like use those as a resource is a really interesting change, and I kind of like that. There's benefits to it, and you can have items around that. Oh, I thought I got one across the bridge. You can have items that kind of benefit from the fact that you can have skulls and generate skulls and do all the fun stuff with those, so that's kind of like why I like it, right? I just kind of guessed that was there. Ooh, we get a strength blessing. Yeah. It's not dex, but I'll take it. The other thing is, like, blessings on this were kind of treated more like items than they were actually treated like, blessings, right? Which I kind of like that a little bit more. And they feel a bit more rare, I guess. Yeah, we'll use that. So I can trigger, like, on that switch, I can trigger it with, a bomb instead, right? So to me, that was slightly better trade to trade the bomb than the key, and I can trade the key for this chest here. And get a bomb back, apparently. No. But yeah. And the other thing is that my pickaxe collecting items as well. Like, I probably didn't need to come in here. I'll take the potion, though. The potion could be pretty good for some healing. I'll take that as well. But yeah. So, there is, like, kind of, like, those small little debates and stuff on, like, if I'm gonna change stuff around a lot, if I got, like, a mechanic, how does that benefit me? How can I, like, what more can I do with it? Is there other things that can kind of play off that as a mechanic and combo with other stuff as other mechanics and those sort of cool mechanics and stuff? So why don't we break this? Oh, that was, I passed the wrong way. I got lost in my train of thought then, didn't I? So let's decide to break this game down a little bit on like a really basic level. So I can move around, I can jump. So jumping is an interesting mechanic. It's not in all Metroidvanias. The ability to have iframes and stuff and jump over gaps in a upward fashion rather than just like a 2D dodge that's a theoretical jump. Obviously some do mess around with the idea of it as well anyway. I have a swing as my base attack, which goes in any direction I need it to be. But only in this case goes in 4 directions, doesn't go in the 8 cardinal directions. And I got a pickaxe throw that can go in any direction I deem it, pretty much, right? But I can't attack while I haven't got the pickaxe. So that's kind of a unique interaction, right? And it's like how these mechanics interact with each other that causes stuff to be more complex or less complex based upon that. So that simple mechanic of I can throw my pickaxe but I can't swing with it because I don't have a pickaxe is kind of important, right? It is actually kind of like really important. That was... No idea what. Oh, it's the skull. The skull's taking the hits for me. That was the ping. But yeah. And then you got the idea of like items, blessings, increasing stats, all that lovely jazz that we have been seeing recently. Oh, I took poison. So yeah, there are sort of like, you know, your benefits, disadvantages, and all that sort of stuff. Next time I take damage, buy that, buy that. Get keys. Keys are always useful. As resources go, we have obviously keys to unlock doors, chests, all that stuff, bombs to blow stuff up, and you can then kind of like swing both bombs and keys in different ways, but bombs can also be used offensively while keys can't. So like the fact their icon and what they're called is irrelevant, but you have 2 resources you have, which basically they stack up, and you have sort of a carryable resource in the potion, which has an effect that can be done when used and is gone, so it's like a consumable. Yeah, so like those are like my mechanics of this particular game that I am able to accomplish with the stuff that I have as a base level. Then you have, okay, well then how can we, as a game, interact with all those mechanics? Is there something that I can do in regards to give myself items, power bonuses, all that stuff, and gold somewhere. Duplicate itself, that's pretty cool. Oh, let's take this. Cut my weapon in poison, seem cool, but I got a lot of keys now, so that's pretty useful. You know, and this is kind of like what you end up doing. So, like, as the items we picked up currently, my throw now will actually bounce between enemies, which is, again, a part of the mechanics that we can have. In the new one, they've given us a mana bar with active items that we can use. So items that require us to essentially do something. Put a bomb there. Oh. Never mind. I was hoping that would actually do the thing it was going to do, but it didn't. And then, yeah, you just kind of have that. So, like, other resources we've got, so gold. Okay, I need to spend gold, so there's shop mechanic kind of basics, things around that. So buying and selling items. Well, if you're buying items, you can sell items, right? That kind of goes hand in hand, and we saw the sellable mechanic come into UnderMine 2, which is them kind of iterating on the formula and stuff. Obviously, the companion that helps me collect gold is kind of nice. It's useful in that sense. Ooh. Increase swing size, but decrease swing damage. Well, I got strength, so... So you can see I got like a nice extra swing in front of me. Let's go into this room, see what's in here. Crits temporarily increase crit chance. I'll point to the health bar for 2 curses. I am tempted to get the armor, but it doesn't really matter. Crits could be pretty good, and we got quite a lot of range. Let's take that. We get like cool stuff with along those sort of things. So yeah, and so we've gone kind of through the basic resources of interaction between my basic kit. Then we have the other stuff that we've unlocked along the way. So, you know, okay, we get blessings and curses, which are both benefits and disadvantages based upon what we have. And then you can use those benefits and disadvantages to, say, iterate on the formula overall. Now, here's something that we kind of saw in this game, but may have not appeared in the other one, and somehow you can kind of like iterate on the formula. So we have blessings and curses. I can take more curses to get upgrades to my weapons and stuff, and get like pick up other objects. So essentially, I make a sacrifice to be able to, you know, get more value essentially. So I can take more curses on for then the ability to, you know, pick up other items in particular scenarios or stuff. So basically I get a benefit for a downside. Thing is why don't you make another one? So the thing is like the curse mechanic involves me essentially picking up a downside to gain a benefit. What about sacrifice? So one is toil, the other is sacrifice, right? Toil is a choice that you make. You know, you choose to make that choice to make your job harder, thus getting a benefit in the long run maybe, or whatever you're trying to do. Toil, on the other hand... Yeah, use it together. Caramel popcorn. Nice upgrade. Allows you to kind of do things. So you can... do we want that? I don't... If I do this, we swap something else in there, don't we? Floating skulls are fine. Is that better? Oh, unique throw relic. I can't do that because I have to give up, yeah, guidance. I like guidance. Guidance is pretty good. We'll keep that around for now. Actually, no. With the crit and stuff, I shouldn't go for guidance. And we're going to go for, like, throw mechanics. So the chakram is better. Put that in there. Pick up guidance. Pick that up. Put guidance in here. Because guidance is pretty good for other runs. And let's use the chakram. So we changed my throw to be this. And I can put that on bosses and stuff and, like, allow it to kind of stack crits and stuff if they're, like, stationary. With, like, the build that we got. You know, go, like, a full crit build or something. And let's do the boss again anyway. Because I feel like doing it. Might as well get the most out of stuff, right? But yeah, so if we're going to iterate on the formula of currently at the moment, so in this particular game I can buy and sell items, I can buy items full stop, right? And I can kind of stock items as such as well. So you kind of got like those two choices. Is essentially I can buy items for a particular currency. The currency at the moment is I can take extra curses, or I can take golds, or I can give golds, right? Those are the two forms of currency I have currently available to buy and sell items, right? All these done. So what other resources do I technically have that I can, say, use to buy and sell items? Oh, that was such a good update when that happened. I have my keys, I have my bombs, I also have my blessings and my items. So there could be, say, like an item trade mechanic where I have to give up an item to get another one, which kind of goes into the stockpile mechanic anyway. Giving up blessings to gain items as well could be really cool, you know, so you got to give up so many blessings to gain them as well, which is kind of a good trade. And there are other mechanics you can use that kind of go alongside that. Certain ones may be, like the ability to limit yourself immediately to get a benefit later, so, like, almost like a blessing lock, where you get disadvantage now to get benefit later, and so on. So, yeah, there are many different ways you can kind of go about them, right? And then, like, as we said before, the ability to sell all my items. So I could trade items in to gain blessings, or I could trade items in to gain gold, or keys, or bombs and stuff as well. Like, although some of it may seem redundant, like, why would you ever do that? Like, I always sit there and I'll say it every single time. Player choice is normally very important. Giving people more variety allows people to come up with silly and wacky ideas to basically break your game. And who wouldn't love to see someone do something stupid in their game to break it? Right? You know, I am one of those people that will do the stupid and dumb thing to see if I can break your game, because I don't have any bombs. Why wouldn't I? Just let those get burned, you know. If you're gonna stay over there, get burned, that's fine. I'm not gonna stop you. There we go. We'll just then let my bird pickle that up. Yeah, are there other mechanics that can kind of go alongside those in regards to, like, buying and purchasing and all that stuff? Ooh, troll sweat. Immediately buy that, drink it, pick that back up. Transmutation potion. Could be good next floor, actually. I do want a bomb, actually. The bomb, because I had a secret room available to me as well. So, I'll also make the most of that. It was down here, wasn't it? Yeah. Haha. The twinkle. Like, the other thing is, like, in the new game, they've given us extra resources, so I have the ability to, stockpile skulls. So when I make skulls, also part of that mechanic where some items require the usage of them and other ones don't. You know? Or like, you know, I can sell those items for a bonus instead. Right? Ooh, that actually hit me because I hit it. Interesting. Didn't think that would happen that way. So yeah, like the whole skull thing being a nice resource in a way that you can kind of manipulate and use in a fashion, allow me to use that resource in other ways if you want to give it to me. You know, either buying items, selling items, making sacrifices to get like tons of skulls for no reason. Like, that could be kind of cool. Well, you can make it like downsides and stuff. The other thing is, like, stackables and stuff are always really good in the sense that the Keyblade in this allows you to gain strength the more that you end up having of keys. So why don't we have one for bombs? Why don't we have one for skulls? And the other one as well. Destroy signs. I'm getting all the achievements now. I picked this up. I did pick this up, actually. I picked it up for like £3. I didn't think I had it on my Steam account originally, so it was on sale when the original came out, I think, or at least was fairly close to being on sale with that. We're dropping bombs, that's why. Rat. But yeah. Ooh. We took a hit. We'll do another run. We'll do another run. Why not? We're trying to learn everything else as well. So yeah, like, with all the new resources in the new game, it's like, well, what can I use to kind of get more benefits? We did not get anything else we can unlock, though. We've got no new stuff, so I guess we're just going to buy upgrades whilst base level and go from there. Give me more gold I can take away with me. Increase the throw range, because I always do like that. It's probably the biggest thing I'll always pick up is throw range. Like, I could get, like, attack damage and stuff, but, like, throw range is just so good to keep you away from things. And I guess we'll go down. We'll do one more. Don't like shorter videos anymore. I like to keep myself active and everything else. So, where were we? Kind of going through all the random explanations and everything else as well. So yeah, you've kind of got the mechanics of like buying and selling, all that jazz. Getting stackable items that can be resources, which are kind of similar to like an item that already exists for the game as well. So that's kind of like why wouldn't you just kind of like lean into that a little bit more? And then use items that use those resources or make those resources tradable with other resources and stuff. So, you know, you can do like really cool things like the skull mechanic in the new game. One of the things I would do with that is do an interesting thing where you can only have as many keys and bombs as you have skulls, but then give you like a really good upside. The less skulls you have or something, and then get you to spend them. Increase attack at the beginning of battle, that's kind of fine, I guess, we'll take it. You know, or something else sort of those lines where you give an item a limit, but you also give it like a really good benefit for that limit if you can like stay underneath it or something. It's like balance in the Binding of Isaac, right? That is such a unique item where if you get it to work, like it works out really well. There we go. Ooh, craftsmanship. Ooh, I took damage from that. The bomb fuses are a little bit shorter in this. I still haven't adapted to them, really. Put that in there. My secret room. Let's go. And we just get food. Oh, I took more damage picking that up than I should have done. Yeah, like that was really a cool mechanic that can be used as part of the game, right? I mean, nothing's ever perfect, and there are reasons why you may not do it. It doesn't fit the style, it's a little bit overpowered, you can't get the mechanic to work in the way you want it to, you know. There's loads of reasons why you wouldn't do something compared to why you would do something, but it's just throwing ideas around, right? It's sort of thinking within the box, but also thinking outside of it simultaneously, right? Like, you have the option to do something, but you can and cannot do it at the same time, so, you know. And I'm always a big fan of, like, giving upsides and downsides to something. So what have we got with this blessing? What is that? Lose less golden death. Craftsmanship. Cool. A bit of a useless blessing, but, you know, it gives you more gold for next runs. And again, that's what I mean. Like, it gives you the ability to do other stuff as well. When if you remove mechanics, you end up then being like, okay, we can narrow our scope a bit better sometimes and just focus on, like, what we want to make the game feel good about it and stuff like that. So, yeah, so, like, limiting the idea of you taking gold back means that you can kind of, like, focus your scope in smaller places. My only argument to that is that essentially that hasn't been done. Right? All they did was, like, stop you taking gold back to then give you crown coins instead, which kind of defeats the whole point of you having crown coins. Is, yeah, just let me use the gold instead. So another cool thing is yeah, like, in this case, is using the enemies to break stuff. So, like, I don't want to kill this guy off because I can actually use him to break stuff, right? It's like these keys, stuff like that. Here we go. Ah, not long enough. Bring it close to the door. Give it to spawn. There we go. Oh, there we go. I got a bomb out of that. Like, the ability to trick my opponents into breaking stuff is pretty useful. Oh, that can't go over the chasm. Okay, I guess we'll kill the guy now. Oh, I took a hit for that. But yeah. The character change I don't mind in the new one. My question would be is, with, like, having Black Rabbit kind of come in and help you out, could there be a better way to do that without kind of resorting to using Black Rabbit as a character, or was there a particular reason why you had to do Black Rabbit as a character? Like, you could have, say, just changed the stats to be male and female, focusing on range and up closeness. Now, there is the dodge mechanic, which I think at the moment is not well implemented into the game. Doesn't quite feel right with how some of the other mechanics work in the game currently. That jump was weird. Right? Is that a bad thing? No. I mean, it's early access. It's still testing and everything else as well. Like, you're allowed to mess around with ideas. Not saying you're not. Ooh, Keyblade. Increase swing damage for each key I have. Thank you. The other bit as well is, like, being able to see stats and stuff. Like, it's nice that you see your own stats, but my question is like, I can't see the bonuses that I get from other stuff. And they always seem to cap out before actually, like, on the thing that I end up caring about. So I get 2 damage on my swings per key I have, so keys are valuable. Like that. I need a bomb. Carry on. With that being said, if keys are valuable, we are going to go to every room now. to try and get every key we possibly can do, and try not to spend them. Beep. We found a key! We got a bomb and another small chest. And another small... Man, that's really lucky. A chest within a chest within a chest. Yeah, amazing chest ahead. But yeah, then there's like other games as well. Like, you know, if you give the ability to do one thing, like how does that impact the game? Like, even something as basic as like general platformers and stuff, right? I think they're kind of important to feel like, okay, why are you giving me this ability? What can I use it for? Another big thing is, like, when you are changing stuff, how does this affect the difficulty of a game? And I think this is something that that's probably a good conversation to talk to about Silksong in general. Now, the developers of Hollow Knight in general, I'm not going to argue with whatever they decide to do. The game is brilliant. For me at the moment, I have been playing a little bit of it offline just to kind of, like, have fun, you know? I gotta stream it again, which I can do this weekend, which I don't know when this video goes up, but yeah, I'll probably be doing that on this Saturday. This might be going up the same day, might be going up the day after, might be going up before. I do not know. Ooh, enemies temporarily explode in arrows after a critical strike. Well, we'll take it. Yeah, do I want to go to the shop? Not really, because I lose damage on that unless I get like other keys, so... I'm going to take my slow time across this room to not take damage. I'm a wuss. But yeah, and I'm like, this also goes like this sort of like conversation about like game mechanics and design and stuff goes for everything that you end up doing. If you're doing something and developing a room, what's the purpose of the room? What's the outcome of a person going through the room? Like, you know, essentially every room design and layout and stuff is either meant to reward the player, punish the player, or basically allow the player to transition and make progression, right? Essentially get from one place to the other. So you'll have rooms and layouts designed around essentially those sort of things, which is to whittle the player down, to allow the player to rest, to allow the player to, you know, get rewards and so on and so forth. And you can see within this particular game, there are rooms literally dedicated to that. You've got a shop for purchasing, you've got an item room, you've got secret rooms, you have Black Rabbit rooms, which I'm going to say hello to her, which she allows me to trade keys and bombs and stuff, which again, I don't think we see in UnderMine 2 currently at the moment. So there is that, which you can do. We can talk to her as well. Welcome to Black Rabbit's Bazaar, where the wares are weird and the prices are weirder. Feel free to purchase the items on the tables, or maybe I can entice you with a proposition of my own. Would you consider selling me one of your super duper relics you are carrying? So here you go, here's the selling of the relics. Yes, we will. I don't care about the battle stand I quite like. The crits, I don't really care about. As always, peasant friend, it was a pleasure doing business with you. Stay safe out there, my business associates. It's better to keep business out of case he around. So yeah, we sell that item to her. We get gold. So yeah, you can do it in this, which means it's a, you know, I think it's an extension. So there is an extension of that in the new game, but there isn't the extension of her weird shop. Unless that will come later. Yeah. And there we go. Now, I could get rid of the battle standard here, but to be honest, I've got the strength in that battle standard. I don't really need the guidance, so we're going to leave that there, because we're going to be a big axe swing build, and hopefully we'll get the big axe bonus later. So here we can sacrifice life, which is another thing you can do as well. You know, health is a resource. But things like mana could be a resource as well, like that's the other bit. Again, the key, that is well worth it. Once more. A little bit of gold. Okay, no more. No more. Give me that. Could have gone to the shop, decided not to, save my gold. But yeah, and then, like, there's the incremental differences, like the ability in these games to kind of, like, slowly build up wealth over many different runs rather than just one particular run, which kind of entices the person. And also kind of fits the theme of the game as well, right? And this is something I said, gold ducats, that'll pay back itself anyway. We'll pick up the key as well, because it does more damage. It was something that I said as well, which was the theme of, like, the slight thematic of the game. So we've got here, sustain yourself through adventure. There we go, eternal life, which I felt like was an important part of, like, throwing the peasants into the meat grinder of this game. Was a very thematic type of thing, which also kind of linked into the gameplay of you kind of doing runs and repeating that process ad nauseum, essentially, with different peasants that were always different each time. I like the idea that you could choose the gender of the peasant as well, compared to the new one. I mean, I don't mind that you can choose it. It's not like it's a bad thing, but it's, again, it's a change in the mechanics, which is something that then you kind of are looking to discuss. Like, why was the change made? What benefit does allow me to choose do, other than just the fact that I get to choose, which, nothing wrong with player choice, absolutely great, but again, it's a change that was implemented, and you've got to go through the same process. Regardless if it is for good or bad reasons, the same thing applies to all. Everything is equal at that point. You know, the benefit is the fact that you could say the game looks more inclusive, that gives the player choice and flexibility. Disadvantage of doing that, maybe it takes a little bit away from the theme of the game and sort of like a bit of that identity and stuff, which again is not necessarily a bad thing either. Like, it doesn't really do that much damage compared to the benefit you may receive and stuff, so, you know, it's thinking about all these small little things and kind of going through them and being like, okay, you know, how does that apply? How does that look? Is it worth us doing it? Is it not worth us doing it? I'm always a believer that player choice is something that can be very good in the game. Too much choice is a little bit overpowering, but player choice in general is normally a good thing. Right? Unless the game is designed around not letting the player choose. Or thinking they chose. Yeah, notice that as well. So that's still an issue even from the original game, which I've noticed now. Is even in this game we're having the cutscene delay, where the timers of stuff still carry on. Which is was an issue we picked up in the second one as well, so it hasn't actually been improved on that front. And we know it's coming from that side, so we go this side, go here. I mean, these are small things, so... Really? I take damage for being in the middle of that? Shouldn't. That's a visual bug, then. You could say. You'd die in the ground. Yeah, it's the idea to be critical of these things overall. The other thing as well is, like, is the ability for me to be able to pick those items up on the chest a good thing or a bad thing? Because I have potions that can duplicate them and so on and so forth. So there's also that side of things as well, and yeah, you know. How stuff interacts in the game is always kind of very important. I know it's my ramblings at the moment, because I'm kind of in that mood, I guess, at the moment, thinking about a lot of stuff. You know, interactions, stuff like that. Like, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it, kind of thing. And just because something doesn't matter to you doesn't mean necessarily that you should not do something. All those good conversations. Well, the other thing is, like, okay, you got those gems, so why is my bird not able to pick them up, right? It would just be better to have my bird pick them up as part of game mechanics. Ooh. You know, just for optimization purposes, it's a pain for me to have to go and pick them up manually myself, so why not just let the bird do it for me as well? It picks everything else up, so it's kind of irrelevant of it not picking those up. Like, what's the reason and the driving force for it is my argument, yeah? I like the fact that technically you do see differences in enemies, and they're all done by design, essentially. It's like what they wear, what they're dressed in, that sort of stuff, so... The visual stuff is always very important. Here we go. Now we have deal more damage when you critical strike. So that gives me crit, I assume. Only downside on this is, like, I don't know how much crit I have. Damage from distance. So that's something that we are lacking within this, which is kind of something you could... Actually, no, we do have stats, right? Oh, it's just general stats. Okay. So that's something you could generally moan about with this one, is the fact that not all stats are as easy visible and understood. We're spending a lot of keys here, but I'm doing it for the healing more than anything else. Holy Water of course. Take that. Take that open as well. Don't need the bombs, so we'll carry on. Just so we can, like, maybe take a curse at some point if we want to. The other thing as well is, like, why have we changed from a guaranteed chance for effects to trigger to now a percentage chance? Like, that's the other thing as well that I end up probably slightly moaning about in comparison to, like, old versus new and stuff. Is it because the fact that you're kind of relying on, like, people playing co-op more, or is that, like, a good or a bad thing? You know, repeatedly returns damage. Blade mail. But yeah, I'm always a big nitpicker anyway, even at the best of times. And I whinge a lot as well, you know, the usual Britishness that I have. But it's something I kind of like, I stand by. I think you should be able to analyze and critique things in any capacity at all, because if you can't critique everything, then there's no way to improve, and you can't develop ideas if you can't share ideas, right? Which is why I think, like, Nintendo patent stuff is just really anti both business and anti-consumer, especially when you're trying to patent mechanics that you didn't even invent either. Like, I say about the whole Warner Bros. And the Nemesis system and stuff like that, and at least they invented it as such. Maybe not like the full concept, but like the application of it and everything else. And I think they technically do have a right to try and make a profit from that. I think that is completely acceptable to understand in some particular way. If it wasn't a game mechanic, we wouldn't probably be arguing it as much. But because it is a game mechanic, there is more nuance to that as such, which just doesn't make it as easy to explain away. Right? That's pretty cool. The other thing as well is, like, Binding of Isaac, this is the effect of taking damage is actually kind of really unique, right? And then you can give items that give you the effect of taking damage. Like, that's pretty cool, right? Ooh, Kimi. Yep. Buy this, user. Buy that, because healing. Buy this. The other thing as well I've noticed in here is, as long as there's gold on the screen, I think the pilferers still spawn. They don't stop spawning in. And they search for gold rather than being assigned gold. So there's some difference in the AI in the new one compared to the old one as well. Unlock that. I'll sacrifice the key to get in here. Never know. We might get the key back. We don't, but... So there is that difference as well as part of the game, like, is how the AI is being kind of applied to a lot of this stuff. But yeah, I kind of like game mechanics and stuff, and how stuff can interact with all sorts of other things, and creating like applications to like what you can do with particular sets of resources compared to other ones, and is there a reason you should limit them? Is there a reason you shouldn't limit them? And all that stuff, you know? It's kind of cool. My main big thing, I think, when it comes to, like, just design in general, is... Give me more of that. That seems great. I'm going to blow this up because it does give me a curse, but we can get rid of it immediately. And that gets me the curse removal. So we can kind of do it again later. I think, in most cases, a mechanic has to suit the theme that you're trying to apply it to. And also not kind of, like, become broken. So I've said this about a few different games of both in Spell Rogue, which I got a bunch of videos on that, but always suggest watching them. They're really cool if you like Slay the Spire stuff and things like that. 100% go and watch that, because it really does kind of fit that sort of vibe and stuff. We are losing damage there. Pick both of those up. Technically, that potion is better than my current one, but, like, I'm not going to pay to swap it over. Well, I have a lot of gold. Ooh, that is a marked rock, so we can go down. Found a key, that's more damage. Huh. How did you find your way here? In here, sir? You can't be here. This one is one of the most kingdom's dangerous criminals. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. So now we know what we need to get. A key, a giant key by the seams of it, to unlock that. And that's what we shall try and do. But yeah, that kind of like giant key implication there is also another thing that I like about this, where it kind of forces you to basically do multiple runs. There's a reason why it wants you to do them, so it's telling you that you may not get it this run, but you may get it like a different run, and you should do that. Come back later, basically. Another key, that's more damage. Let's go here, we get more gold from that. Familiar to max level. Nice. The egg has done its work. But yeah, I was just saying, like, with both Hades and... Well, Hades 2 and Spell Rogue, there are some boss fights or elite fights or, like, you know, particularly, like, tough fights that you're meant to face. And the issue I have with them is they are trivialized by a basic mechanic in the game, like a power they give you, which essentially diminishes their value, right? And it's not like a bad thing. It's just it's that point where it's like, you know, guys come up with a really good idea as part of the team. You think, oh, this is going to be brilliant, and then you think, oh, you implement it, and then no one has that sort of moment to think, hang on a minute, haven't we, like, got this mechanic that this kind of completely breaks? And then everyone's in the team's like, oh, damn it, and then you've wasted so much time on it by now that it's just kind of like, can't really do much else now, it's part of the game. You know? And it's not part of bad design, it's just, you know, we're human, right? There's only so much you can really think about when you do stuff, and with all the moving parts that go into a game and stuff, it's sometimes very difficult to kind of, like, know all of the moving parts exactly when you are coming up with design. I'm a neat freak when it comes to stuff like that, and, like, I will sit there, I will build a flow chart of everything and being like, okay, so this does this interacts with this does this is a mechanic for this boss that we cannot break, you know. As for all the examples, I think there is a particular boss fight that has a lot of ranged attacks that come out quite fast and are very difficult in Hades 2, which essentially that breaks the ability you get is one that blocks projectiles while you're sprinting for that particular boss fight. And essentially it trivializes it in the sense that the difficulty is how quick the attacks come out, so you kind of get chipped away, which is very hard for you to avoid, right? Which means that increases the difficulty of the fight itself. Problem is, when you have a mechanic that gets completely ruined by that fight, it suddenly doesn't seem that threatening anymore in comparison, because the thing that would normally end up chipping you down over time is no longer chipping you down. It, you know, it just is part of the fight, right? And I said, it's not the fact that it's bad or anything else, it's just, it is what it is, right? For Spell Rogue, there is a particular elite fight which applies a stacking debuff on you. Let's go down and see me do this fight. I would have loved the bounce now, to be honest, because this fight is... Yes, it is the Golem. It's kind of weird doing this fight like this now, actually, you know. We got good DPS though. Now you can really see the graphical differences, actually, I will say that. Oh, potion more off. We don't have the extended swing range now. See, a potion giving me swing range. That's kind of cool. That's missing from the new one, I think, at the moment. Anyway, or at least I haven't seen it. more hits. There we go. At least we get the kill. Nice. Pick that up, get a blueprint, the electric orb, get the artifact for the fragment, and then get sequence breaker. Cool. And the key. Key to the halls. Let's go back up. So we've done all of that. Now, the thing is, like, you could get past this without even fighting. You could just hit the cursors, which is another cool mechanic. I love the fact you can technically do that. But now, though, we've done that, so use that. That's now unlocked for us. But we're going to try and do the other mini-boss fight if we can do. We're on low HP. I should go to the shop first, see if we've got any healing. I can't remember if we did. Got a bomb. No. Okay. We got a lot of gold, though, so this is one of those runs where we're going to go back with a lot of money. And behold. And we die. That's the key that we want. So, now we know. Take a good amount of gold back though, so we can unlock a lot of stuff now on our next run. But yeah, I probably should do like a proper talk. I mean, if you guys do want me to have like a proper talk on like thoughts, game mechanics, examples, stuff like that, maybe do more of like a documentary on sort of those sort of things, like almost like a TED talk. I'm more than happy to. We'll have to kind of set that up in a different format compared to this. But yeah, do let me know. And again, if you do enjoy these videos, do leave a like, subscribe to see more. And I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.